right. All right, guys. What's going on? Live here. All right. Well, third day in a row up over 500. So that is awesome. Kind of just I don't know. Trading doesn't seem that hard to me right now, but that's exactly the mindset to that will screw me over, I'd say. Just when trading seems easy, I think generally that's a pretty toxic mindset to get yourself in. But anyway, I wouldn't say easy. I just mean things are kind of just going along. But we have GameStop here again today. Was a crazy mover. Obviously, I traded it. Like, what do you mean? I trade this literally every day. You guys know this. GameStop has just been I want to know how many executions I have on this stock. I actually could probably find out pretty easily. I upload all my trades to TraderView. I'm sure they have a statistic on that, but I just think how much I've traded GameStop relative to other stocks is like pretty mind-blowing. I did trade the RBLX IPO. I had some interesting trades on that. We'll get into that. But anyway, yeah, the market was really boring today. I think other stocks and just the market as a whole really kind of crappy for day trading. And you'll actually have to excuse me. I have pulled up. You're probably wondering what this is. This is GameStop from that day when it hit that high of 483. And I just kind of was coming back to this and looking at my trades on it and just how it was moving and how I traded it, and looking at how I traded now, kind of reflecting on this. This was GameStop's most hectic day, opening at 262, hitting a high of 484 within just a half hour. I don't know. I just, it's funny because I don't think we'll see anything like this again, really. And my trades on this, in my opinion, I still only took 10 shares here and 20 shares on this dip. I don't know, just looking back at this, I think these are really quite ballsy trades. Really nice trade here. And then I looked at my TraderView. I actually ended the day red on this day, which is surprising to me based on how well I traded this stock. I think I had some losses on it. I'm not really sure exactly where. Look at this trade. This is wonderful. Maybe I looked at the wrong day. I'm not sure. Anyway, I must have finished this day green. There's no way. Anyway, okay, let's go back to today, because that is today's today, and this is the recap for today. So as you can see, I kind of missed the move there, but that was kind of the move I was looking for through $300. But here it seemed to try it multiple times, and we never really got that clean, decisive break of that level. I obviously was looking for that, and I like the setup. It's holding above VWAP. It looks pretty strong, and my first entry, my first attempt was right here on this pullback, a little bit extended, but I thought, if it's going to go early, this is before 10 o'clock, it's got the momentum, the volume is as good as it's going to be for the rest of the day. I wouldn't know until later that it would have some crazy moves during the lunch period. But anyway, bought this pullback here, didn't work out, stopped out very quickly on it, and then bought this dip into VWAP, just in anticipation that it would hold VWAP, and it did, and then made this really nice break to new highs here. Took some profits there, but pretty big pullback here, more consolidation, then taking profits along the way. So this was a green trade, and then I was all out. And then when it hit VWAP again here, I was actually looking to get in here, but didn't get it. Came up off that level and then tested VWAP again. And then again, I just said, I'm just going to buy this, and my stop will be VWAP. I actually bought this, let's see, 286. So I bought it above VWAP. It broke below, and I said, well, let's just see where this candle closes. And I really did say, if this candle closes above VWAP, then I still like it, and it's still holding that level, and it looks good. And that's exactly what happened, and it came right off of VWAP, bounced very strongly, and I didn't give this one enough room. Admittedly, I got out of it too soon, 291.69, and I got out of all my shares, so this was a mistake. So I got out about midway up this candle here, and it would continue up to 299 and touch 300 here, and 25 shares on a $14 move. that's what does that help? That's over $300, right? So anyway, tried it again as it kind of was looking like it pulled back a little bit here, but then here was the attempt right here as this broke up and I liked it, and then when it came kind of flushing down a little bit there and forming a red kind of bearish reversal candle, I got out break even while I thought I had the chance. It did continue lower briefly, but it held up relatively well. The spot to punch it again would have been right here, and I could have done that. I wasn't looking for it to touch VWAP again. I think, you know, if you're gonna get a move to the upside, you eventually need to be holding higher highs, higher lows, and so that was the spot right here. And I think this isn't a difficult entry to find. I could have taken it here. I think I just thought, well, I tried it here, it didn't go. I'm not really sure what I was doing. I should have dipped my toe in at least right here. It would have been good. Glad you weren't caught in that drop. I was disappointed because I was taking profits too quickly. Well, now I remember why on GME. Yes, well, beware the GME. We'll get into that in just a moment here. So anyway, I missed this entry here. This would have been obviously ideal. 2020 hindsight there on this move. It really was kind of a grind higher all the way up until this kind of 315 level. And then we had a really nice few candles here, a little bit higher volume there, and when I saw it I was like, oh man, really wish I had taken it, but it really would have been grindy. I feel like I would have gotten out most of my shares before even this point, but who knows, I've been better recently. And then I saw this consolidation, but I saw all these wicks and it seemed like 335 was really the spot, and then here on this rejection the third time I was like, oh man, and then here again it tries and rejects, and then finally it does get the break at that level. So a little confusing just because the consolidation is really tight here, very obvious. This looks really very nice, and it's a flat top breakout of 335. It's picture perfect, and yeah, I mean the more times you attempt to break a level, obviously the more chance you have of making that break. But with GameStop, I mean, you see looming in the right side of my screen exactly what happened not long afterward, and you always wonder if something like that can happen to you on one of these kind of false breaks. But anyway, over 335, I am definitely not going to be a buyer on the breakout. If anything, I want to anticipate that break. But at this point, I wasn't really looking to trade it. I was already up on the stock like $500, or I think I was up 480 or something. And so I wasn't really looking to get in up here at 330 or whatever. And then I saw it was breaking. I couldn't believe it. It was up to almost 350 and looking good here, still looking good. And then all you have here with this crazy drop, it's like, well, what the heck? I mean, this really, there's no technicals. There's no, if you are caught in this move and you didn't see it coming and you said to yourself, well, how could I have seen this coming? You couldn't have seen it coming. All right, this has nothing to do with anything technical, except for the fact that it's extended. Sure, it's extended, but what really causes it to drop here? Well, it's pretty much yeah, I mean, Reddit might be right on this one. It's a short seller attack, really. I think I don't know, to me it looks like you have some very, very, very large sellers come in, and almost looks like they just market sell however many shares, and just that one huge whale seller just shorting all at once can really drive it down. And when you get these first few candles coming down, starting to drop, then the shorts really start to pile in, and then when you get this halt going down, it's like, it's happening, the drop is happening. So very quickly you get all the shorts that are FOMOing in, and then the panic sellers, obviously, from the buy side that are holding shares and panicking to get out. So it just creates this kind of this panic sell-off, and that's what you have here. And yeah, I mean, higher volume on this sell-off, but honestly not too crazy. This is really interesting action too. I mean, you get a halt down right at VWAP, and the resumption lower here is the key, because if it opened flat, a bounce off VWAP is almost guaranteed. but resumption lower here, and then only just a moment of hesitation before capitulation and really breaking down here. When it halted here, I mean, obviously it halted multiple times coming down very quickly. This was very rapid, but this this spot right here at 178 is I'm sure everyone's licking their chops at that. Just it's tough because when you see it open, you only have moments to make a snap decision, and I think that the biggest hint that you're going to get the bounce here is that the fact that it opens so far below the halt price at 215, opening at 178. And I did watch it resume, but I was actually doing something else. I had my eyes kind of off and on. I wasn't 100% focused on it because I knew that I was already up on it on the day, and there was really no reason for me to attack this. Or if I did want to, it would have been best to only do it with really small share size. I mean, we're talking this is a over $100, about $150 drop in a matter of, I don't know, 10-15 minutes here. But anyway, the fact that you halt at 215 going down and then resume at 178, it's actually, there is an argument to be made that there's a way you could have gotten in there for sure. And when you resume that much lower than the halt price, and you're already so far extended downside, it's like, think of it like when the market opens and you have a big gap down in a stock or a big gap up. There's always the debate, is it going to be a gap and go, or is it going to be a gap fill? And I always say that to look for the gap fill first. That's just my personal bias on it. But this is when you have an intraday move like this, and that's just and I'm just making that as an analogy. I'm just bringing that up as an analogy for this kind of halt action, because when you get this, it's like you can picture this as the stock opening up on a gap down, and the immediate reaction is going to be for a gap fill. You can ask, well, it halted going down here, why is it not, why not the gap fill here? And I mean, the answer to that is again, you can actually answer that question again with an analogy to when stocks open up and they have gaps to the upside or downside. If it's a small gap to the upside, the preference becomes more, the bias becomes more and more likely that it's going to be a gap and go. But the bigger the gap, the more likely it is that you're going to have an immediate reaction for a gap fill. So if a stock opens like up like 10-15% or just has a crazy gap up, unless it's a small caps are unpredictable, but a crazy gap up, I think that the bias is for a gap fill, and a small gap up, the bias is for a gap and go. This is not even a general rule, it's even more general than that. Take it with many grains of salt, but here that's what I see. I mean, you have to, it's very unpredictable. There's no way you can predict this action, but all I can say is that at halting going down at 250, it's extended, but not that far extended. Halting and resuming at 178, it's exactly that much more extended than it was here. The distance between, well, let's see, I can play around a little bit. The distance between this point and this point down here is about the same as the distance between this point and this point here. So it's basically like twice as extended as it was here. And I would say, well, yeah, I mean, that's really just it. I mean, and the fact that it resumes here out of this halt going down, that's, again, a small gap down. The likelihood that it's going to be a gap and go, right? Gap and go is greater because it's only gap down a small amount. But when you have this much of a gap from 214 to 179, I mean, think about it. It coming out of the halt, it's resumed so much far lower. Sellers aren't going to be willing to sell at those low prices or as willing as they would be if it had resumed here, right? If it had resumed here, it might have been a different story. Who can really say? But all I can say is that the fact that it resumed this much lower is definitely, that was your key to predict that you would get a bounce on this. And again, if you're taking that trade, it's nothing but risky for sure. But I would say that there is context. There is context for the bounce happening there. You wouldn't be completely blind or idiotic if you had taken a long entry there at all, I would say. The really tricky spot is the fact that it halted going up and then resumed lower here, which is really kind of funky, a kind of a pump fake here. Not really sure about that, but anyway, really a sweet move on the bounce from 178 to 270 here and then up to 285. You can always, I mean, when you see GME having these halts going down like this and the volume starting to pour in, it's basically like a guarantee that either the stock is going to go down to $40 in a matter of 30 minutes and the volume's going to die or whatever. I mean, I guess that could happen. But when I see this happening, what I'm saying to myself is, I know, or I'm extremely, extremely thinking that there's going to be a pretty epic bounce on this and a really good long opportunity on the bounce play back up. However, how low is it going to go? How much lower is it going to go? Should I be a buyer here, or is it going to continue down to 100 and then we bounce? I know there's going to be some sort of bounce. I don't know how big. It's probably going to be pretty big. I mean, on this one, you drop $150 and we retraced over half of that move in, you know, not that long. I mean, look at this. A bounce from 170. Oh, by the way, poor soul that sold their shares, the low here at 172.06. We can, that's sad. Too bad for them. Anyway, I've talked a lot about this move, but I mean, the halting action and all this, it's very difficult to trade, no question. And I think I didn't trade it. I don't wish that I had traded it. Certainly there was a very lucrative move back up, a really nice bounce as you typically get on these big sell-offs like this. It's just a question of how low is it going to go, and it's very tricky to trade, and most of the time I would recommend just not trading it. If you don't feel comfortable, don't trade it. I think the most comfortable I would have been to take a long entry was at the ideal spot at 178. If I had been nimble enough and had been watching it and been more attentive, I might have taken a 10-20 share position right here as it opened. I might have even bought the ask as I saw it squeezing up, but again, this stuff happens so fast. It's very difficult to catch those moves, and all I can say is that, yeah, again, the only reason I'm saying I actually could have taken an entry here is because of how far it gapped down on this resumption. That would have been the key. For it to continue lower, there'd have to be some unreal sell pressure to keep it down at that point, so far extended, and yeah, again, that gap lower is key. Anyway, so that's that. I took one more trade on GameStop here, but yeah, whatever, a frustrating one. It did continue higher, but whatever, just a scratch trade. I shouldn't have really entered it in the first place. The setup was okay here, but then this candle rejected, and I got out as this candle popped back up because I just said, let me just get out. But that was a mistake, as I should have believed in myself a little bit more there. But only 10 shares. Again, if I'm going to be stupid and going to take trades that I don't really like the setup, afternoon volume is low, whatever. If I'm going to be taking a trade, at least I did it with 10 shares, you know. The loss was small. Okay, guys, Roblox, very cool company, and you know, I don't know a whole lot about it, but they're more than just the meme game that you guys probably aren't familiar with. Roblox is a anyway, it's pretty cool. But all right, so I started watching this one. I was a few minutes late on it, and I started watching it here, and I thought it was extended, and I didn't want to buy it until I saw a pullback. Well, it carried all the way up to 73, 74. Tried this level a bunch of times. I got in here, 25 shares, super small position, just putting a feeler out there, just trying to get a sense of being in the trade, and just within a few minutes it kind of flushed against me there. Gave it a second, it popped back up, but this candle was strong, and so I got out kind of at the low of that candle, because I thought, well, it's really moving strong to the downside at this point. I believe very strongly it will touch VWAP, so I'm going to wait till it gets there, and maybe buy a dip on it, which is exactly what I ended up doing here. I bought the dip here at 69.53, which is right here at the bottom of this candle. That is a really good entry. I didn't notice that. So awesome there, 69.53. This candle broke VWAP, broke lower. I said, I'm not buying it, aka I'm buying it. I'm not buying it as in I don't believe it, the saying. Anyway, so yeah, and then I was right to do that. 68.67, really another fantastic entry. I bought the low of this candle and the low of this candle, so I brought my average cost to somewhere around in here, 69.12 I think it was, or something. Yeah, and then we got the pop back up. It held VWAP, and I said, all right, I'm gonna stick with my shares. I'm holding pretty big size here with 200 shares, kind of sized into a full position on this dip. The fact that this is kind of a bullish reversal candle, I like this. I'm going to give it a second. Well, this candle didn't really give me what I wanted it to. It came back down, touched VWAP again, and I thought, well, this is the second test of VWAP. Now I'm getting a little nervous because if we break this time, I'll believe it. And so I said, well, okay, let's see what happens. VWAP probably should be my stop here. Or if I really wanted to give it some room, then down at 68.65, but I'm not sure I like that. Anyway, so it actually ended up holding VWAP, so that was good. I took 50 off here at 70, 50 off here at 70 again. And then this candle, watched it this actually, although it came down here, it felt like a bullish candle because just watching the price action, you can tell the buyers are kind of starting to stack up, and then a nice rip up here. Got out another 50 shares. My exits just weren't that great here, 70.82, so I got out 50 about right here. And then really I was looking for it to kind of make a run back up toward the highs, but this candle, man, just flushed up here. I was up on the trade. I was holding 50 shares left, and I was up on the trade about $217 on this stock, and on the day that would have been up about 700 or a little over 700 on the day. But this candle flushed really a strong flush here. Got out 25 at 69.83 right here, and then as this candle kind of continued, 69.23, I got out of the rest of my shares. It held VWAP again and came back up here. Oh well. But anyway, that was still a profitable trade. I think I was up 125 bucks on Roblox after that trade. As you can see, I only finished the day up 59 on it. At least I was green. Oh well. I tried it a few more times. This candle here was starting green. I got in 671.60 right here, looking kind of for that continuation higher. This first green candle to make a new high here, and this one flushed, wow, all the way down to 70 bucks here. And I was like, man, oof. On 50 shares it burned a little bit, and I got out of my shares at 70.91 on a pop back up. It held and came straight back up to my entry price. Dang it, man, tough. And then this coming up here, 71.77, I got in I guess on a bit of a dip right here, and then it did pop back up to 72.24. I got out at 72, so pretty much a scalp trade there. And then as it flushed back down and formed a bearish candle, I was kind of like, okay, at least good thing I didn't give that one any room or any chance to continue. Okay, so I tried it a bunch of times here. Here I tried it again as this candle came back up, looking for this to finally continue, and then bam, another flush right back down. Holds again, coming back up, trying again, and failing again. And as I draw this trend line here, and as it broke this trend line, at this point I was really just looking to manage the position and get out in a good spot, but that didn't happen. I got out at a bad spot down here at 70.38. A few minutes later, ripping right back up to 71.23. So a really tricky one, and this isn't good trading in here. This is consolidation. This is yucky. This isn't. Don't trade in here. That was bad. Roblox kind of turned out to not be such a good trade for the rest of the day. And as I stopped out down here, I was up 55 on it on the day, and I was like, well, I was up on it over 200 at one point. Anyway, so it was a bit of a bummer. Here I had, this was dumb. I got a partial fill on a scalp that, whatever, ignore that. Stupid. But on this first trade, buying 25 here, looking for that break, not getting it, and even though it was a small position, I got out for a $3, almost a $3 loss on 25 shares. So I was down like 80 bucks on it or something here. And then on this really nice dip trade, really good entries here, and then up from down 70 or 80 on it to up 200, I was feeling really good. And so having given back most of that in here was definitely frustrating. But you know what? I was able to walk away unscathed. I mean, at least I'm green on it, right? And green on the day, up 527. This is my third green day in a row. I'll show you guys my trader view here. March is looking really nice. 500, 500, and another 500 here. And with today's gain, I'll be up 18,000 all time, so that's great. And what I'm especially excited about is that these are all-time highs in the account, so that's awesome. And yeah, this crazy drawdown, I mean, you can see really since November it's been like super choppy, just chopping around, and now it finally seems like I'm kind of breaking out, but I don't want to speak too soon. Red days are inevitable, so I'll just try to keep them small. But I'll be back at it tomorrow and really try to have another green day and do my best. And how long have I been trading? Since 2018, September 2018, but day trading only since June or July. So, but I've been watching stocks and interested in the stock market since September 2018. But yeah, day trading only for 6, 7, or 8 months now. So anyway, all right, guys. So that's it for me. Up 527, guys. If you enjoyed the recap, please hit the thumbs up, subscribe if you haven't subscribed. Come on, what are you guys doing? You can join the Discord if you have any questions, and you can hit me up in there. I would be happy to chat with you about trading. I've done it with plenty of people, and I'm happy to do it with you. And yeah, guys, that's it. What else was I going to say? Oh yeah, these recaps are every day at 5:40 p.m. guys, unless in the Discord I say that they're happening at a different time. It will be 5:40 p.m. and I'm excited for trading tomorrow. Hopefully we get some really good action. And like and subscribe, and I will see you guys tomorrow. Bye-bye.